Good afternoon, Mark Daniels with BG Products here. I want to bring this demonstration to your shop today talking about ethanol and the service that we have to combat the ethanol fuel that's going in today's vehicles and a lot of the problems we're seeing with that. Before we get into the problems, there is one benefit to using ethanol fuel, and that is we're going to have lower tailpipe emissions. But with that one positive benefit, we're going to have a few negatives that come with it. Firstly, the one big negative is ethanol fuel is hygroscopic. So just like brake fluid, ethanol fuel is going to absorb moisture that is around it. So from condensation, any water that gets in our fuel supply from the gas stations, those sort of things, is going to compound and attract more moisture to it. The big problem with that is between the alcohol and the ethanol fuel and the moisture now, we're seeing corrosion in their fuel systems from the inside out. So I know when you guys have had sending units out of the fuel tanks, you're changing fuel pumps, you see that white chalky corrosion all on the metal components of the pump, the sending unit. That's actually the alcohol and the water attacking that and causing corrosion, causing the systems to fail prematurely from the inside. Fuel pump failure rates are really high today because of the ethanol alcohol. Third, one of the big problems with ethanol is the alcohol they use counteracts any of the detergent that the gasoline manufacturers are putting in the fuel. So they talk about adding all these detergents to the fuel to help the vehicles run better. Then when they make it into an E10 or an E15 blended ethanol fuel, all that detergency is being eradicated from the ethanol alcohol attacking it. So how are we going to help to promote better fuel system cleanliness, keep our vehicles running better for our customers so they're not going to have downtime? And that's going to be with our fuel system ethanol defender kit. So that's going to come with a bottle of our ethanol fuel system dryer and a bottle of our corrosion preventer. Both of these products are going to be added simultaneously to our customer's vehicle, and then they're going to fill the vehicle up and drive it. As they do, I'm going to show you through our demonstration how the fuel system dryer is going to remove all that moisture in the fuel system, get rid of it as the vehicle is operated, and then we're going to coat all the components inside that fuel system to help promote better corrosion resistance so that the system's not going to deteriorate from the inside out. So I'm going to demonstrate our product, but I also want to demonstrate that against one of the other products on the market today. And that's going to be this product right here. And I'm not picking on this product because of the name or the brand or anything like that. What I want to point out here is it's the #1 selling gasoline antifreeze. So if this is #1 on the market, let's see how the top dog does compared to the BG product. So what I want to do, I'm going to take a little bit of gasoline here. I'm going to fill up each one of my test tubes. So I'm going to put an even amount of gasoline in our tubes. Okay, about 2 fingers full there. And do 2 fingers worth of gasoline there. Okay. So we talk about it being hygroscopic. I just got a little bit of tap water here. I'm going to put an even amount of droplets of water in the fuel. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Then I got a little bit of red dye food coloring I took from my wife's pantry. If you don't tell her, I won't. But I want to put a droplet of red food coloring in there just so that we can see that water bubble. Okay, that out of the way. We'll cap these off. I'm going to shake them up a little bit. Okay. Shake up our fuel. Take a look at that test tube. See all that water there? It's all stuck to the sides of that test tube. That's what's happening in today's fuel systems in our vehicles today. Okay. We'll do the same thing here. Shake that up really good. Look at that. Got a lot of water in that one too. We can see that bubbles there, the water are sitting in the bottom, mixing in with that fuel. Okay. So, we're going to take our heat here. We're going to put a fingerful of heat inside of test tube A. Okay. Then I am going to take the BG fuel system dryer. I'm going to put a fingers full in test tube B. Okay, finger full there. So now, flip back to test tube A. We'll shake this up a little bit, leave some pressure. Okay, notice our fuel sample is pink there to start with, but see, we still got a problem. We still got a lot of water droplets hanging out on the top side of our test tube. You're also going to see something else start to happen inside that test tube here momentarily. Well, let's take test tube number B with the BG product in it here, our fuel system dryer. Look at how clean the side of that test tube is. Don't see really any water in that test tube. Notice the color of it. It's uniform throughout. We got all the moisture is entrained back into that fuel. We'll talk about that in a moment here. But what I want to show you here is I want to show you test tube A, going back to the heat. See a couple of things going on. Again, we still got a lot of water droplets hanging out on the side of that test tube. If that's our gas tank inside of our vehicle, all that water is hanging out on the side of that gas tank now. We also have a layers here. We've all heard phase separation. Some of us have never seen phase separation. For those of you that haven't, you are today. Okay? You got your gasoline. Gasoline is lighter than alcohol. The alcohol is all sitting on the bottom here. We got a small layer of water there separating the two. So, that's phase separation. The biggest question I have is for anybody that uses a product such as heat. Heat is isopropyl alcohol. Why would we want to put more alcohol into a fuel system that has alcohol already in it? Just doesn't make any sense to me. If we go back to test tube B with the BG product, we don't see any of that water hanging out in the top side of our test tube or our gas tank, if you will. We're actually entraining the water back into the fuel. So when we entrain it, we're molecularly putting that water, combining it with the gasoline so that it can now be carried throughout the fuel system and burned off just like gasoline out the tailpipe safely and effectively without harming the system. Okay? We can let that sit here all day long, all night long, and we'll never see that go back to a separated mixture like we have with the heat that happened basically instantaneously. So that's my demonstration on our ethanol system service. Again, both products are going to go in the vehicle, fill the vehicle up, drive it as normal. Going to entrain all that water, remove it through the fuel system, burn through the combustion chamber safely, effectively. And the corrosion preventer is going to back that up with protecting the system from the inside out for corrosion inhibitors. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my little presentation here, and I hope you learned something. Thank you.